think this is Atlas's second or third time seeing the mat. So I'm going to present it to him. I'm on the inside of the round pen, so I'm going to let him investigate it if he'd like to, kind of check it out. He's already expecting there be food on it. So he kind of sniffs it a couple times. He's like, okay, where's the food at? Kind of kicks it around, paws at it a little bit. Maybe food will come out when he paws on it. I'm just going to ignore the pawing. I really don't want him to see the mat and think, oh, I paw this and knock it around. I want him to think instead, put front feet on there and have front feet still on the mat. That's what I'm looking for. So I'll give him a little bit of reinforcement just on the mat, and then I ask him with my hand target to just step up on there, and that looks really great. So I'm just going to reinforce while he's standing on the mat for a little bit, and I'm just going to try to be pretty quick about it. I need to be faster there and reinforce before he picked his foot up there. So the pawing is just a normal, natural thing that horses do, but I don't want to create a habit where he sees the mat and he paws it, or he stands on the mat and wants to paw. So I really want feet still. So I need to be pretty quick with just reinforcing for those front feet still on the mat, and then over time, I can start building duration. I can add the amount of time that I want him to stand on here, and I can add other behaviors. So if I want him to stand straight with his ears up, or if I want him to stand straight with his head down, depends on whatever behavior it is that I want to train. So, but those things all kind of come later. Right now, he's doing the behaviors that I want, and usually that's what they're going to do. It's, unless you need something very complicated, um, but yeah, this is just the beginning of it, making that mat very, very reinforcing. So they see the mat, they think, okay, put my front feet on it, and then there's a lot of reinforcement when that action occurs. So that's what I'm really looking for, is pairing that mat with lots of good things. Because it's not super natural for the horses to go and like want to step on things and put their feet on things. So I have to make this behavior um, very rewarding. So that's what we're doing right now. Just kind of letting him hang out and stand on there. And I don't really want him to move. So like in the beginning there, I was doing a little bit faster reinforcing, and then here I kind of slowed down. I needed to be a little bit more systematic with it. So building up to where he's standing, and then I'm just reinforcing a lot. And then I'll build up 1 second and then 2 seconds, and that's how I need to be doing it. I'm kind of like being a little bit more variable than I need to be right now. It's not that solid of a behavior yet to be doing that. So, but this is what I should be doing right here. I'm not sure why I stopped feeding the other side. I guess I was just thinking about having him change directions. But yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing at this point, is just he stands on the mat, whichever direction I ask him to, and he wants to be on there. And then later on, we'll work on like cues for him to go to the mat or to come off of the mat. Um, and we'll add in those later on as well. But right now, I just really want to pair staying on the mat with lots of good things so that he has that motivation to do that. That's what I've seen with most of my horses, because I hadn't trained them to stand on mats before, and I just found them, some of them would struggle just like putting their feet on it, and then they would struggle with staying there and like pairing, like food happens when I'm in this certain location. So definitely most of that's going to be me just doing it wrong. So I just need to make sure that them standing on the mat still is very, very reinforcing for them. I'm trying to ask him to just move his front feet up a little bit. And in the beginning, I also shouldn't be super specific with where his feet are. Like right now, like his feet are on the mat and they're good. And then he steps up really nicely. And this is really like the ideal location, but I would have taken the one where he was like a step back. As long as both front feet are on the mat, we're cool. And then in the very beginning, I would even take that 1 foot. So just kind of gradually make sure that they're in the correct position, but I don't want to do that too much too soon and ask for too many behaviors and make him confused. So, but this looks pretty nice. He's just being reinforced quite often for standing on this mat. And I want to make sure that I'm reinforcing fast enough that he doesn't really have time to add any other behaviors. Right now, he's being awesome. Like he's just has his head forward, his ears are up, he's not really doing anything. A horse that's a little bit more curious or has a bit more energy might be turning their head, picking their head up, lowering it, kind of trying to move their feet, back up, go forward. And those horses, or horses that are showing that behavior at the time, you're just going to need to quicken the amount of reinforcement you're doing. So he stands there for a second, click, and then keep going, and then again slowly build up the amount of time he can stand there. You gotta increase the reinforcement and decrease the amount of time between your clicks so that he doesn't have time to offer any other behavior. So, and I'm not really sure why I'm so worried about petting him here. I do want that cue. Um, the cue for him to stand is me touching him between his forehead. So I think that's what I'm working on, and maybe he was just kind of uncomfortable with that. So like here, like he's letting me touch him and I'm clicking and reinforcing, but I probably should have done that separately so that if that was a little bit aversive for him, I'm not adding that together with the mat. So, but that is going to be my cue eventually because I'd like him to stay. And I really have just used the mats to like start to teach them to stay, teach them that stay cue so they kind of have a visual for it. And then I'll take them off the mat and keep that cue so that they can stay in any location. And we'll be working on that later on. But this is kind of the beginning of it, and it looks really nice for a horse that hadn't seen the mat before. This is really great, and this is probably also going to be like a very first step on him crossing obstacles or like going in the trailer as well. So there's my stay cue, and he's starting to relax to that pairing of the touch as well.